Ready for a show.
Marcus Speaks.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Speaks. I'm your host, Marcus. Everybody's going on. Testing. Okay, I'm gonna have to say all that shit over again. So, because obviously you guys couldn't hear me. So, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go back. Everybody, hey, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Marcus Speaks. I'm your host, Marcus. Alright, so, if you could, like it says here on the screen, please like this video, share this video, also share the channel to all your social medias. Excuse me. Also, if you're new here, if you're new watching this, if you're on my channel, not over there on Facebook, all my Facebook people, please come over here to YouTube. All right, the link is right above, or yeah, it's right above this video. So click on the link, come on over to YouTube. Yes, if you could write some stuff in the comment in the live chat. It's right here in front of me. It's right here in front of you as well. And I can bring your comment right on screen just like this. Alright? As well, what's this? Let's be over there on Facebook. Alright. So alright. So let me go through some things. Everybody, don't forget, Marcus Speaks Play comes on not only on my main channel, but as well as my second channel, Marcus Speaks Play, every Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. Again, I'll reiterate my second channel. The link is in the description, and it's also in the chat. All right. I'm using restream.com because some people like using StreamYard, some people like Streamlabs OBS. I personally like restream.com. The only thing that Restream can do that StreamYards does is have scrolling text at the bottom. Come on, Restream, get your shit together. If you have any sort of show idea or game recommendation, show recommendation, as far as like a topic, please leave them either in the live chat, Facebook, or YouTube comments, or you can hit me up in my DMs as well on my social media. And the way that you can reach me on my social media is Instagram at marcus.speaks.podcast. On Facebook, the personal page is Marcus Speaks. What do you think it would have been? Anyway, so the group page is Marcus Speaks Podcast. Over there, please join. I also do Marcus Speaks Play over there, as well as whatever I think about getting into next with this YouTube shit. So the way you can find it, either you can type in Marcus Speaks Podcast. I still need to turn this down. Either Marcus Speaks Podcast you type in, or all one word, Marcus Speaks PC. Okay? And I'm also on Twitter at Marcus Speaks 25. Alright? That's a whole lot better. Marcus Speaks 25 over there at Twitter. So when you see me post something from Instagram, you can also see it on the Facebook group page as well as the Twitter. So follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook, also the group page on Facebook, and follow my Instagram, okay? I'm gonna try to keep posting stuff or whatever. So I'll reiterate, sorry. My main page is Marcus Speaks here on YouTube. My secondary channel is Marcus Speaks Play. Please go subscribe. This is the way you can do it. Go into my Facebook channel, not my Facebook channel, my YouTube channel, my main channel, Marcus Speaks Play. Right underneath of the channel title is Marcus Speaks Play. So go subscribe to both all at the same time. Alright? And if you could, I just want to ask this again. Please like this video, share the channel, as well as this video, and subscribe. Hit the bell to all. Because if I go live and you don't know I'm going live, you know that I come on at 6:30, but you don't know if I'm on yet. Hit that bell to all so you can get all my notifications, okay? So, everybody, this is something that I keep forgetting every week, but I'm not forgetting now. So, when I do my podcast, right? So I have things that I talk about, show topics that I have for the day, but I also play videos. Let me turn myself in my ear. So when I do that, I play videos. When I play my videos, or not my videos, but videos that I have to make my points that YouTube can flag me for, unless if I do this. Hello, everyone. I'm going to tell you about fair use. It's the law. Warning. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyright motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. All right, now that shit's out the way, who's ready for a show? So, this is how I'm gonna start it off with a little tiny monologue. So, if y'all seen the thumbnail and the title, you already know what this is about. Check this out. So, a rap artist talks about these mandates, correct? So she talks about these mandates. Not only does she talk about these mandates, she also has something that has to do with the punch that her cousin went through, or her cousin's friend went through. Not only that, not only is the news media basically ripping her a new asshole because it's not along the lines of what she wants to talk about, what they want her to talk about. Not only that, we're seeing an influx of people that is not from here come seeking asylum. Why are they seeking asylum? Because some shit happened over in their country and they don't want to deal with it because it could lead to dramatic and drastic things that could happen to them. So they come here. No biggie with that. I feel I would do the same. As well, while all this is going on, we got a white girl missing and then her remains get found. But not in her home state. She's practically like 2,000 miles away from where she lives. From a road trip that she took with her boyfriend. Which is weird because they left together, they didn't come back together. Something weird about that, right? Anyway, so this is what we gonna talk about first. And that was a monologue, people, if you didn't know. So Nicki Minaj, the left-wing media goes after rapper Nicki Minaj for what? What is she like? Why is she being ridiculed about the things that she's talking about? It's ridiculous. So, before I start, let me take a smoke. For the people that are watching, please, if you have anything to say, write it in the comments, the live chat, or wherever you're at. You'll see it right there on the screen. Sorry, you'll see it right here on the screen. Or I can pop it up if you have a question. I can pop it up on the screen if you have a question. All right. So, to assume that rapper and international entertainer Nicki Minaj is anything but a liberal would be foolish, as she has made it quite plain in the past that with respect to her political and social views, she does not differ much at all from her left-wing colleagues in the business. But it turns out that Nicki Minaj is more than a pretty face and a rapper. She is a free thinker. And if there is anything the militant left hates, it's an American who refuses to engage in Marxist groupthink. Earlier this month, Minaj got into a back and forth on Twitter with one of the dumbest and most ridiculous news network hosts on the air, MSNBC's Joy Reid, whom rival Tucker Carlson at Fox News often refers to as the race lady on the other network. Reid clapped back at Minaj after the rapper posted a claim that a friend of her cousins in Trinidad suffered swollen testicles after getting a COVID-19 vax. Now, if you're watching, I don't say the full word. I make up a word. So if you know what COVID-19 stands for in vax, cool. If not, I can't tell you what it is because then the video gets taken down or blocked or what have you. So I'm not even going through all that. So just know when I say Coco 19 Vax or what have you, I'm talking about the bullshit. Or I might say jab or punch or whatever. Just whatever. All right. So leading leading her not to rip the vax, but merely to engage people to pray about it, whether getting a vax is personally in their own best interests. In fact, Minaj has actually tweeted that she hopes people get vaxxed, but she also relayed that alleged issue with her cousin. So this is what I'm gonna show y'all real fast. So we got rapper Nicki Minaj here. I'll show y'all that real fast. Looking cute right there with her fake booty. Go ahead, girl. So this is what she wrote. So Minaj responded by calling Reid a dumbass and adding that this is what happens. No, this is the wrong one. So I'll keep that up, but still I'll read this. This is what happens when you're a thirsty. Hold on, I might have it. There it goes. So this is what happens when you're so thirsty to down another black woman by the request of the white man that you didn't bother to read all my tweets. So no, this is the wrong thing. This is good. Oh, I skipped it. Sorry, I skipped the part. But anyway, I'll go back up. So she says about her cousin, and I won't reread the part I just read. So she says my cousin in Trinidad won't get the vax because his friend got it and became impotent. His testicles became swollen. His friend was weeks away from getting married. Now the girl called off the wedding. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, not bullied at all. So that's what she tweeted. And to go further into this, that set Reid off, even though Reid last year when Donald Trump was president also was a vax skeptic. So this is what Reid had to say.
And people like Nicki Minaj, I have to say this. You have a platform, sister, that is 22 million followers. Okay, I have 2 million followers. You have 22 million followers on Twitter. For you to use your platform to encourage our community to not protect themselves and save their lives, my God, sister, you could do better than that. You've got that platform. It's a blessing. It's a blessing that you got that people listen to you. And they listen to you more than they listen to me. For you to use your platform to put people in the position of dying from a disease they don't have to die from, oh my God. As a fan, as a hip hop fan, as somebody who is your fan, I'm so sad that you did that. So sad that you did that, sister. Oh my God.
This is classic black woman talk. You know, the black woman that really isn't with the culture all that much, as you can see. And she's trying to bring Nicki to her level to try to reason with her. Like, hey sister, but nah, fuck the bullshit. Stop. All right, you don't need to do all that dumb shit, Joy, because for the simple fact, a DM could have sufficed by just asking her before going on your little show to say, hey, like, why do you feel this way or whatever. So, what Nikki is about to get her with next is what I said earlier. I read forward for some reason. I don't know why, but this is what I also have to say. I always say, never say shit unless you know the full context, details, or the full story on something. Because for the simple fact that Joy just went out there and just was like, yeah, you got 22 million followers and you shouldn't be talking like that. Hold on, bitch. Look, she didn't say for people to not get it. She just said, I don't think that I'm gonna get it, but I'm gonna have to get it for the simple fact that hey, I want to go on tour next year with this tweet right here. So, so I didn't get to see none of that other stuff. So she said, also, my god sister do better. Imagine getting your dumb ass on TV a minute after a tweet to spread a false narrative about a black woman. That's classic. So, what else did I have to say about this? So Joy basically got egg on her face because obviously she probably read that right afterwards or heard about it, and she didn't. She probably didn't think to come back the next day and be like, you know what, I fucked up. I spoke too soon. I didn't really understand my sister. What she was saying, so I apologize. She didn't do either. So, what else did I have to say about this? Uh, like, how many newscasters, right, is pushing this shit? You got Don Lemon, damn near every day talking about this, about how the unvaxxed shouldn't get medical treatment when they do get vaccinated. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, come on now. Like, how are you sitting here? How are you sitting here telling people that they shouldn't get treated for something that's obviously dangerous? Something about that. That's obviously dangerous. I think, I don't know. Anyway, people have died from this, and I think we're as human beings, fully functional human beings, we're highly capable of making our own decision of if we want to get it or if we don't want to get the punch. So there's some people who have taken the jab. There's people who haven't taken the jab. There's people who have gotten cocoa that has survived and gotten better after, and there's some people who have died. So no matter how you swing this, I think as fully functional human beings with our own thoughts, our own mind, and our own whereabouts of how we want to move around this, I think we're pretty capable of making a decision of if we want to get it or if we don't want to get it. What do y'all think about it? Write it in the chat. So also, with people who actually get the jab, don't they become super spreaders? Because now, they think, I got my first shot, got my second jab. I can go out about the country and do whatever the hell I want to do, not knowing that, hey, there's certain places that's asking you to wear a mask so you can protect other people, which I don't understand that logic. How's it me wearing a mask helping anybody else but myself? Like, I'm trying to protect myself, not anybody around me. It might sound selfish, but I'm not looking to help anybody else during this ordeal other than myself. I'm not looking to help anybody else. If you're wearing a mask, then I'm like, okay, cool. You're protecting yourself. That's what's up. I'll be seeing people going into stores now without a care in the world. Like every store doesn't still have a mask mandate. Which, if y'all read the Fauci emails, you'll know that he's anything lower than an N95 does not work whatsoever. So get N95 game. So let's continue this. Let me take this down. So I want to get my next video queued up before I go. All right. So fast forward to the past week. A journalist in her home country of Trinidad, not the journalist, the of Minaj's home country, which is Trinidad, has been caught threatening Minaj's cousin with exposure to CNN simply because she's upset with the rapper who can think for herself and doesn't need anyone else's permission, even the left. So this is what the lady said. She said, "Hi, good day. My name is Charlene Ramperson. I'm a reporter with the Guardian Media. I was hoping to speak to you for an article." So I'm guessing her cousin refused and let me say this. How in the fuck did what you say? Hold on, let me bring you up on the screen so I can read it. So you said I can't count on one hand the number of people I have seen wearing N95 masks in public. It's the best one. It's the best mask to wear. And Charlie the Carpenter, I thank you for coming back again. I saw you, last week? So I thank you for coming. Anybody who's watching, I thank y'all for coming, all right? So, what was I saying? What was I saying? Oh, like, how do you know who the hell her damn cousin is? Number one, how did this reporter, just out of nowhere pick a random black person in Trinidad and was like, "Hey, what's up? You want to do an article?" And he refuses. And this is what she says afterwards. Check this out. "I know you are hesitant to speak with us, but just letting you know, CNN is in the country looking for you. And when they find you, they won't hesitate to reveal where you live or where your girlfriend lives. Anything and anyone who is tied to you, if you speak to me, we won't reveal those details. So what do you say?" She wrote. You gotta be a stupid motherfucker to go. Let's say she came to her cousin's house. She has to be a stupid motherfucker to go to somebody's house and threaten them to do a article with her. What kind of motherfucker does bullshit like that? Just for a story? Now, like, who the hell does this news media think they are? The mob? The Italian mob? Let me get a story or else. It's like, what? Get the fuck out of here, man. Look, the next news reporter to do some bullshit like that, whoop their ass and tell them that I sent you. Because that's intrusive, number one, just to get a story. Not only is it intrusive, like, what kind of merit do you hold? Like, excuse me? Like, what the fuck are you fucking doing? Like, you don't have to tell somebody, or you don't have to threaten somebody, sorry. You don't have to threaten somebody into having them give you a story. Makes no sense. So next part of this, Nicki Minaj open your fucking eyes to Coco-19 censorship. So Twitter ban is making me think, this is Nicki's words, Twitter ban is making me think that there is something bigger going on, Nicki says. After being temporarily suspended from Twitter for questioning the Coco vax, pop star Nicki Minaj encouraged Americans to open your fucking eyes to the censorship currently happening in the West, adding that her ban made her think that there's something bigger going on. Nicki, check this out. You're not the only one being banned. There's people being deplatformed from Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Like it's people like me, it's YouTubers like me who watch their mouths just so they don't. I'm probably shadow banned, but nonetheless, look, I go live every week. That's why I say, hey, share this video, share this channel, whatever, because I want this message to get out. Everything that I talk about. And does Twitter not understand? She has 22 million followers, probably more on other social media sites. So let's say a round figure, she probably has 40 million followers altogether across social media. So they shut her down for, let's say, what, a day? You know what kind of mayhem that probably caused? Like, people who probably frequent her page and saw that they couldn't view anything, you know, they probably went into a fucking uproar because they couldn't see what their favorite rapper was saying at that time about whatever the fuck she was talking about. So this is what happened. Minaj made global news in recent days for tweeting in support of medical freedom, explaining that someone she knows became impotent after taking one of the controversial cocoa vaxes, and then urging her followers to pray and weigh the benefits of getting the vax. Now, check this out. Not only, um, hold on, let me read this part over because okay, so she clearly is telling people, make your own decision on this. If you feel like you want to go and see your grandparents and your grandparents are requiring you to get this, then get it. And able to see them, because you know most of our grandparents have comorbidities, so you know, and able to see them so you don't spread something to them such as this. Why is it that um why is it that we're being told? Crazy thing was, if there's anybody watching from my job, and I practically say this shit damn near every week. They told us that they're looking over this OSHA shit that Biden put through, right? So we was told that we had that three options are coming about. Either everybody gets tested every week, vaccinated, and shit, why did I just say that? Vaxxed or unvaxxed, or everyone gets the punch, which that's not in the cards for me. But there's some wiggle room. You can either have a religious, what's that? The religious. So somebody, give me the word. It's anyway. If your religion basically has you to where you can't get certain vaxes or not, or people who are unvaxxed gets tested every week. Which I said last week, it's a $14,000 fine if anyone misses that. Would I be somebody that might miss my testing? Hell yeah. Not on purpose, but I'm human. I don't. If I have an appointment for 9 o'clock, sometimes I don't get there until like 9:15. Just saying. But anyway, in response, globalist media outlets became enraged at the star, with only Tucker Carlson and other pro-freedom outlets defending her. On Wednesday evening, Minaj even tweeted out a clip of Carlson defending her, causing an even greater backlash from pro-vax defenders. So, this next video I'm about to play, it's not the one that she posted, but it's damn near close. So, Tucker Carlson also has a special someone with her that the black community doesn't like, and here we go.
African Americans already have the lowest vaccination rate of any demographic group in the country. They never tell you that, but it's true. You can look it up. 40% of black Americans have been fully vaccinated. Now, they have someone speaking for them. And it's Nicki Minaj. And by the way, she's an actual working class woman of color. She really did grow up in Queens, unlike Sandy Cortez. She did not major in international relations at BU. She didn't even go to college. At 19, she was working at Red Lobster. So the question is...
Well, I would say she did go to performing arts school, which, her career now.
One working class woman of color to another, is Sandy Cortez supporting Nicki Minaj? Of course she isn't. She's not on the side of people who worked at Red Lobster and actually grew up in Queens. She doesn't care if Nicki Minaj's cousin's friend's testicles are enlarged and his fiance left. She has more important people to impress, and last night she did. You know who she doesn't impress, honestly, is Candace Owens, who's the host of Candace. We're grateful to have her on tonight. Candace Owens, thanks so much for coming on. First of all, I love this story, and I'm not taking a position on, the private parts of Nicki Minaj's cousin's friend in Trinidad. But Nicki Minaj is like one of the few people who can speak outside the filter. Twitter didn't even take her tweet down. She's not Alex Berenson. She's a rapper. So it's amazing to see them panic in the face of unfettered speech.
Yeah, absolutely. There's two things going on here. First and foremost, Nicki Minaj accidentally stumbled upon the Ministry of Truth. You're not allowed to question anything from the Ministry of Truth. And she's actually showing her fans in real time what we have been saying for a very long time, that there are people that control what you're allowed to say, what you're not allowed to say. And if you say something that they don't want you to say, they will make a concerted effort to take you down. Now, Nicki Minaj is talking about one person's experience with the vaccine. Who knows? Tucker, we could both eat peanuts, and in a room full of children, we might all be fine, and one child might drop dead from anaphylactic shock, right? This is how the world...
How many people have we seen that happen to? The running joke on, I think it's CNN now, which isn't funny. They keep going at Joe Rogan and the running joke is, or you can take a horse dewormer to cure this. How is that funny? The man went through provisions of countless medicines to cure himself without. Well, I think he did have to take it. I'm not sure. But anyway, he is torn or whatever. But he took countless medicines, which one of them, if taken in large quantities, is considered. Well, no, it's a secondary one for horses that deworms them. So there's a human drug of the same name, as well as a veterinarian drug for it. That's what the fuck he took. He got over what in like 3 days or something like that. So obviously there's something out there that works other than the punch. Like, come on now.
gosh, we're all different, our bodies are different. This is no way saying, she never said don't get the vaccine because of this. She's saying take your time, learn more. We don't really know a lot about this. That should be okay. If scientific debate was allowed in the Ministry of Truth, that would be okay, but it's not allowed, right? And they're actually making a very dangerous mistake, because people like Nicki Minaj, right? They know that she's not a part of the political class. They know that she's actually a person, as you mentioned before, that has worked hard, has come from nothing. And she is just honestly having a conversation with them like she always does through her music. So they're actually playing a dangerous game that will likely create, more vaccine hesitancy than before, because you're taking down someone that they love for no reason. She's not against the vaccine in any manner whatsoever. And, on the other hand of this, I think that they're exposing themselves to be what they are. Again, the Ministry of Truth.
My total knowledge of Nicki Minaj is right around 0 in that range. So, I have no idea what Nicki Minaj thinks of anything else, but I know when someone's not intimidated. This woman's not intimidated, and the MSNBC lady is like, shut up and know your place, please. I went to Harvard. I think you worked at Red Lobster. And Nicki Minaj was like, what? And went completely crazy on her. And it's just so interesting and heartening.
I love to see it.
To see someone who's not afraid in America. There's still a few. I guess it's left to a rapper from Queens, but good for her.
Right, it is good for her. And these are the people, by the way, that when they're running, they go around and they get them to endorse them, right? They go around to Cardi B, they go around to Nicki Minaj, and they try to get them to speak on behalf of them. And Nicki Minaj is not playing that game with them. And now people are seeing in real time what these elitists actually think of them. Look at the way they spoke down to her. She's stupid. The headlines were insane. The headlines like, she's so dumb, she thinks that it's going to make your testicles fall off. Whatever they said, complete lies, by the way. Denigrating her because at the end of the day, what they actually think, the Democrats, is that these people are stupid. They like to come around every 4 years for the votes, but at the end of the day, they think Nicki Minaj.
That's not what she said, and that's not what she meant. And I would say, added information with this, the White House called her, like a White House representative called her and said, hey, we would like to talk to you. She asked, could it be recorded? They said, yeah, sure, but we won't put it up anywhere. She said, no, I want my followers to know what is said here in this meeting. Now, that's a bold move, as well as her, taking up for herself. It's like, look, I said something, my followers saw it, I want them to hear what y'all have to say as well. And, excuse me, and as well as having it live streamed. That's all. But not only for her viewers, for everybody. Now, is there anywhere in the side effects to where anybody's testicles get swollen? Who knows? Nobody really knows about this damn drug. Nobody knows what it does. All they know is I either have to take it so I don't lose my livelihood, or if I don't take it, I get fired and I can't go into certain places. That's it. That's all they know. They just know either to take it or not to take it. That's all that they know. Ridiculous.
And all rappers are very stupid. And Nicki Minaj right now is proving them otherwise. She's not afraid.
No, she's definitely not afraid. She's a savage, actually. I'm not on Twitter. It kind of made me want to get on Twitter. It was just so good. So, I mean, you could actually, and I'm not, it's not even about whether the vaccine works or it's good for you or her cousin's friend's testicles. It's about whether you have dominion over your own body, whether you're a free person, whether you're a citizen and a human being. And you got to kind of wonder if people like this standing up might awaken others that, I don't have to be pushed around, actually.
Right, and that's what it really comes down to. This is about body autonomy, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. I personally believe, from the bottom of my heart, that more people would get the vaccine if they just had an honest conversation. Right. There's so much gaslighting going on, especially people that have already gotten the vaccine, right? People have gotten the vaccine and said, oh, it made my arm itch, and they're going, you're a liar. Okay, they're thinking, you're a liar. That never happened. How dare you say that? These people are on your side, vaccine industry. You're gaslighting people that actually listen to you. Why not just have a meaningful conversation and say, you know what? This might be rare. Maybe it did happen, but you're going to be just fine. They won't do that. And that is why people do not trust them at this moment.
Totally true. There are about 8 people in the whole country who are against all vaccines. No one's against vaccines. They just don't want to be lied to or bullied. They do want to.
Like, anybody like you said, it's like 8 people that's against it. It's more, but just think. When we were growing up, we got all of our vaccination. God damn. All of our vaxes so we could go to school, preschool or elementary school. Now, what kids take like a cocktail of, 40 some odd shots now? And some of these shots they say it hasn't, but some of these shots have been linked to kids developing autism. So some people are against it for the simple fact that they have a healthy baby, healthy child, but when the baby grows up, it has a learning disability now? Like, how does that work? It's not that people don't want their children to be vaccinated or themselves. It's just that they don't trust the science behind most of these vaccines. That's all. That's all it is. Especially this one. No one trusts the science behind it. It took them 8 months. According to generational studies, damn near every vax took 10 years to develop and to get to the point to where no one dies off of it. But they want us to trust something that just was made just yesterday. Also, your president, vice president, and certain other people have said in the past, last year to be exact, hey, I don't think I'm going to take this for the simple fact that I don't trust it. But now they're pushing it. Makes no sense.
Pray on it and make their own decisions. Nicki Minaj is right about that. Whatever the condition of her cousin's friend.
Totally agree.
I appreciate your coming on tonight. Candace Owens, thank you.
Thank you.
She actually looked human in that interview. Anyway, this is also what Nicki said. So, she was on Instagram and she had an Insta story that said shortly after posting a clip from Carlson's show defending her tweets on the Coco Vax, Minaj was temporarily suspended from Twitter. In a post to Instagram stories, Minaj said that just as she was about to post a poll on the site, she realized that she had been put into Twitter jail. So, because, and this is what she says, they didn't like what I was saying over there. In an email to National File, Twitter claimed that there had been no enforcement action taken on her account, casting confusion as to why Minaj was not able to post. But this is what she posted on well, it's right here. It's right in front of y'all. But right here for me it says, "I'm in Twitter jail, y'all. I didn't like they didn't like what I was saying over there. On that block, I guess my poll was gonna be asking question is okay. I like being fucking dumb. Then boom, can't tweet. I don't understand." So Minaj proceeded to go live on Instagram. I don't have that video, so slamming the censorship from Twitter just for asking questions about the Coco Vax. You can't speak for the fear of the mob attacking you, Minaj said. Saying it should give people chills up and down your fucking spine. Comparing what happened to the oppression of Christians across the world and other authoritarian regimes. So she says also you should be able to ask questions about anything you're putting inside your body. We ask a bunch of questions about the most simple things, but you can't just innocently ask a question about something going in your body. I remember going to China and they were telling us that you can't speak out against the people in power there. I remember all of us thinking, oh, okay, well, we understand and we respect the laws here, and that is and that it's so different where we live. Don't y'all see that we are now living in that time where people will turn their back on you. People will isolate you if you simply speak and ask a question. Which is true, because now, like she said, and as I've been saying practically for what, like damn near a year now? Well, not really, a couple months. But they're willing to censor you for no apparent fucking reason. Like, no apparent. If you just ask a simple question about something, there's people ready to jump all over you. The thing is, when you have answers like me, when you study shit, when you look shit up, read articles, watch certain news programs, read certain news articles and stuff like that, and you get your information like that. When someone tries to combat you on something, just let them go. Let them defend whatever they did in their, with themselves, and then come to them with the facts. But I get disrespectful with the facts. So don't be like me. Don't be disrespectful with the facts. Just tell them what the facts are behind everything. And then as they're sitting there not listening to what you're saying, it's actually sinking in, and then they feel dumb for making their decision. But your decision is your decision, just like my decision is my decision. If I want to ask a question about something of why we have to do this, then why is it a big problem? It shouldn't be. All right. So, and what may not be a surprise to some, Minaj added that many other musical artists feel the same way as her, but they're afraid to speak up for fear of the same backlash happening to them. I will never use Twitter again, she added, noting that her ban from Twitter was making her think that there's something bigger happening with censorship in general around the cocoa vats. And she says, I kept on seeing all those people with all those conspiracy theories. I was like, oh, what? Please. But what in the world scared y'all that much that made you disable my fucking Twitter? I have not put out anything that I said was a fact about anything. I simply said we should be able to ask questions and speak. It's scary when they start telling you that you can't ask questions about anything. Listen to me, please. Open your fucking eyes. Open your eyes. That's all. Now look, what she said about conspiracy theorists, right? All these conspiracy theorists or whatever, right? I started hearing this shit not about this, but just some certain like worldly thing would happen. I heard this back in 2008, 2009. But look, with black consciousness, right? When you get into black consciousness, basically learning about yourself, being aware of shit, being conscious about things, the very first thing that you stumble upon in black consciousness, and I'm pretty sure when white people get into whatever consciousness they get into, I guess they call it woke, being woke. And I hate that word. The first thing you stumble upon are conspiracy theories. What are conspiracy theories? They're just things that have yet to be proven. That's all that they are. So, once things starts getting proven and certain individuals start looking stupid, then that's when people become crazy. That's when people People don't believe in what you're saying, and they just call you a conspiracy theorist. Now, with that being said, this shit has been said for fucking decades. Decades shit like this. What's happening right now has been said for decades. If y'all ever read Behold the Pale Horse, I only read maybe like a quarter of that book. It has this exact scenario in that fucking book. Then you have Bill Gates, which is a college dropout. Uh, Yet he's a billionaire, but he's a college dropout. And he's in what he went to college for wasn't even in medicine. But he's steady at the helm of all of this, along with Fauci, basically talking about citizens should get vaccines. And in his TED talk, he said that there will be a world calamity that would happen that will depopulate the world. What's happening right now? This must be some sort of plan that's going on. Now, what else is does conspiracy theories teach you? Critical thinking. The thing was, when I started stumbling upon conspiracy theories, I also was taking a college course called critical thinking. So it's like, damn, I'm learning about critical thinking while learning stuff that has to deal with you critically thinking. Like, this shit is obscene, is absurd. They're doing shit right in front of our face. Bill Gates caused a polio outbreak from his polio facts. And I want the people to see this as well. Was this when he was little, Charlie? When he was a kid? Did this happen? I'll wait till you respond. Anyway. Yeah, like this shit is crazy, man. They're 10 years old. Okay. This shit is fucking weird. How's it that we're going through this and it's been written about countless times over in the past? I don't know what else to tell y'all. Like, you call people weird, you call people stupid, or you call people conspiracy theorists or whatever because you don't know what they know, or what we know, I should say. We actually read this shit. Damn, you wrote a lot. Alright, I'm giving you the clue, but now if you really want to know whether it's true or not, you will go investigate, but don't use Google because there are masters at censorship. I use DuckDuckGo, so thanks, Charlie. But yeah, I will research that though, Charlie. But thank you for that information. So, all I'm saying, just like Nicki said, use your best judgment and do what works for you. Don't just be like, hey, I want to do this because it's going to protect people. Fuck everybody else because everybody else ain't thinking about you. Do what makes you feel good about yourself. Just do that. All right. So, anybody have any last words on this? Because my last words is this. Why are they jumping down Nicki's throat? I have no idea. It's only because she spoke out about what she feels and deems is the best thing for her. You gotta remember, Nikki is worried about two other people. Well, no, I think her father and her mom are still alive. So she's worried about like four people: her mother, father, her husband, and her son. Those are the four people she's worried about. Five, I think I just said. But anyway, um, that's all she's worried about, and she also still has to make money. And I will say this: isn't it funny how all of this is happening with her? Right when her husband got placed in jail for not registering himself or checking in really to California because he's a sex offender. Not only that is happening, the woman, which was a girl then, that he sexually assaulted, that he did, I think he did like 11 years for. The woman is now speaking out about what happened the night of her being sexually assaulted by Nicki Minaj's husband. Is all of this like all this is happening all at once to one person? But we remember when they was trying to bring somebody else down that's in trials being deliberated right now. Didn't they do like a full scale assault on R. Kelly? Now I'm not saying R. Kelly did it or he didn't do it. I wasn't there. I was a nephew. If y'all watch that video, I was a nephew, so I don't know what happened. For all we know, most of them girls could be lying. And I also did say that those people who did the acts along with Kelly to those young girls should be have a trial as well for statutory rape or aiding and abetting a criminal for doing such acts. That's what I said. But nobody wants to say that. Because you gotta remember, with the surviving R. Kelly shit, it's strange to me that damn near every female had the same story. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not talking about that tonight. Just do what's best for you. That's all I gotta say about that. Alright. So, I know y'all heard about what's been going down there at the border. Border Patrol's going crazy. Also, Haitian, they call them migrants. Because, whatever. But they're trying to seek asylum here in America. Now, over 11,000 illegal immigrants are camped out under a bridge in Texas that borders both Texas and Mexico. So a drone operated by Fox News has more than 14,000 illegal immigrants camped under a bridge in Texas. The number changes damn near every day. Once you heard 4,000, then you heard 8,200, then you heard 11,000, and now it's 1,400. I'm pretty sure, and they also said that last week when this happened, that they were expecting 1,000 more coming. Now, Fox News discovered that mostly Haitian illegal immigrants under a bridge in the city of Del Rio, Texas, which is just across the border from Mexico. But look, it's not just these Haitians that's coming over. Those Haitians was with South American and Mexican immigrants. Now, what happened? South Americans and the Mexicans were able to come, but then they shunned the Haitians. Now, these South American and Mexican immigrants have yet to receive the jab, nor do they have, but they're allowing them over. But then they put in the news that, and I'll get to this later, but I want to bring it up real fast. They're saying that the Haitian immigrants will spike the rate of the spread of COVID-19. I don't see how that will happen, but we'll get into that later. So, now I'm not saying that I believe in getting the jab, because I don't. But I am saying that you let two groups of immigrants come in who don't have it, but then you're not allowing another group of immigrants to come in. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, let's keep going. So, the news outlets' drone footage showed the immigrants walking across a dam on the Rio Grande River. The migrants use this dam to make their way to the international bridge, a border crossing that connects the country of Mexico, connects our country to Mexico, to the U.S. to Mexico. So, I don't have that picture, but I have something better. I have a video that I would like to display, and here we go.
Texas Public Radio reporter Joey Palacios is covering the story from Del Rio, and he joined us earlier today. Joey, thank you for joining us. Tell us, where are you and what's behind you there?
What we're looking at behind me is the border wall, and see that small entryway? That's where border personnel, Texas DPS personnel, are able to get back and forth to this migrant site. Now, the migrant encampment, which has upwards of 15,000 people right now, is maybe about a mile, 3/4 of a mile down that way. And, from here, you can see just agency vehicle after agency vehicle. We've seen buses coming in and out to bring people to CBP processing centers to have their asylum cases heard. This massive amount of people, they are all people hoping to get asylum within the U.S. The majority are from Haiti. And from what we've heard, some of these people have been in Mexico or in Central America or in Latin America for years, well before the recent earthquake, well before the assassination of Haiti's president. And, these are people that have heard that, that this is the area to come to where they have the best, probably the best chance of getting into the U.S. And that's one of the reasons why this encampment has grown from around 2,000 people at Monday to where the more than 15,000 people it is now.
When you say a processing center, is the government actually processing the Haitians and processing them to find out if they really have a reason to seek asylum here?
Yes, as of yesterday, what we've heard, about 2,000 people have been processed so far. And that number could be changing, by the hour, as the hour. And these are people that, it'll be determined if they have an asylum case to stay within the United States. Once they are granted an asylum case, they're allowed to remain here legally, and they'll receive help from different agencies, like the Valverde Humanitarian Border Coalition, which helps people find family here in the U.S., to get bus tickets, to just get to the next destination. So, there is a large response from community groups here to help these people once they're released from ICE.
Joey, in this case, how are they going from the encampment near where you are to airports, either 50 miles away to San Antonio or wherever these flights are going to take place?
So the process is kind of a mystery. Some of the impact that this is having is that the international bridge here is closed. So regular traffic between the U.S. and Mexico is not taking place and has not been taking place since Friday.
I want to stop this real fast. Hey, Charlie, I'm looking up what you told me to look up, and I'm gonna read this later. I'm gonna read this later to myself. But yeah, I understand what you're talking about.
So the bridge, which is just a few feet away from me, basically a ghost town, other than the 15,000 people that are underneath it. So no one is coming across. In fact, if you want to try to get in or out of the U.S. or Mexico, you have to go about 50 miles away to Eagle Pass. Now, as far as the people that are under there, what the process is, the people down there may not even know that this is that this is the Biden administration's plan. There hasn't really been any clear direction or information rather on how this is going to take place.
Joey, the heat there in South Texas is extreme. We're talking about triple digits. Have there been any health concerns with these migrants? 15,000 essentially camping outside under a bridge?
Yes, absolutely. Yesterday the heat index was about 104, maybe 105 degrees. And what we've seen coming out of that gate is that there are ambulances that will go in and out. And in fact, yesterday I saw an ambulance parked right outside, and a family, 3 people, come out. A mother and her child got into that ambulance. What the issue was, I'm not entirely sure. But as they were opening the door, there was already somebody else inside too. So heat exhaustion is a real concern. Feeding the people here is a real concern. In fact,
Wait. I don't see how it can be a problem. Let's check this out. I'll be right with you, Charlie. Check this out. Don't they feed these Mexican and South American migrants when they come? So how would it be in any way out of the way for them to feed then the Haitian immigrants? How does that make sense? How does that make sense at all? They're feeding these people that come over, not the Haitians, but the South Americans and Mexicans. How does that either make a bit of sense? I don't know. I don't understand. Let's keep going.
yesterday, the restaurant where I had gotten dinner, I was talking with the general manager, and he had said that they had been approached by a federal agency to come in and supply food. From what I understand, just other restaurants too are coming
Charlie,
in
I
to try to help
remember that. I
Joey
remember seeing
Palacios
that.
with Texas Public Radio. Joey, thank you.
Michael, thank you.
Follow-up question on Haiti. There are photographs and reports.
I don't want to see y'all. I don't want y'all to
border
see
agents
this
on horseback
right
using
now.
what appear to be
It has
whips.
do with what I'm talking about. So I'll leave that up. So on Wednesday, the illegal immigrants number around 4,000. Last Thursday morning, their numbers had doubled to approximately 8,200. By Friday, their numbers had soared past 11,000. Multiple sources that spoke with Fox News, multiple sources that spoke with Fox News ever believe that there may be tens of thousands more illegal immigrants on their way. Another source told Fox News that Customs and Border Patrol was so overwhelmed by the situation that they are concerned it might spiral out of control. Sorry. The sheer amount of people, it's like getting hit by a 2x4, said Republican Tony Gonzalez during an interview on Thursday. You think you're in a third world country, and this is the United States. This is Del Rio, Texas, and there is literally no border at all. It's just been muddled over. To feed these migrants, provide them 3 meals a day will cost the city of Del Rio $1 million a week. How? What you say? My eyes warn us next time you put the ass on. Shut your ass, Charlotte. But anyway, how? How would it cost that much? Now look, I don't know what the hell they feel as though that they need to feed them. I don't know if they think that they gonna be feeding them fucking New York strip steaks and shit like that, but all they need is a protein, a starch, and a vegetable. And I'm pretty sure you can find a lot of that under the cost of $10. And then if you double it by how many people you got, well, triple it really, by how many people you got, then you come up with your number. I don't think it's gonna be $1 million a week. Fuck out of here. It's 14,000 people. Now check this out. McDonald's serves billions upon billions of people, and they don't make $1 million within a week. Depending on what I know, the 3 McDonald's in my town don't make $1 million a week. So you're just gonna have to cut costs somewhere. How about in a bullshit ass area of you developing something that the city really doesn't need? How about that? Cut the cost somewhere. Now, multiple sources that spoke with Fox News even believe that there may be tens of thousands or more. I think I said that earlier. I did. This is a small town and that does not have any resources yet. They are literally having to come up with millions of dollars a week to handle this crisis. It's unfair to them. Yeah, but they feed all the Mexican migrants. Anyway, so the border crisis has escalated in recent days, raising concerns that the administration of Democratic President Joe Biden is not doing enough to protect Americans against the deluged. I'm saying that wrong. I already know. But anyway, of illegal immigrants into the United States. Biden's old ass ain't even doing shit but sitting on his ass. We rarely see this motherfucker. When's the last time we saw Kamala? We don't even know. I'm sorry, I missed that last one you said. You said who is feeding them? The NGOs. Who's the NGOs, Charles? Anyway, when's the last time have we saw Kamala? Now, what, Biden just spoke out, like 2-3 weeks ago? But we hadn't seen him since like June. Now, call me a liar. We saw Obama all the time. We saw Trump all the time. And we even saw Bush Jr.'s dumbass all the fucking time. Why isn't it that we're not seeing Biden? It seemed like that. Well, we were in wartime with the 3 presidents I just named. So now that we're kind of not in it anymore, what, the president has nothing to say? Like, I don't understand. The only time when we hear him is when he wants to put out doom and gloom. Kind of like the one time when Jimmy Carter did. You gotta remember, people liked Jimmy Carter until that point in time where he was like, fuck this, we ain't doing most of the shit we used to do. Start doing what we asked you. Or I'm paraphrasing. But it was one White House or Oval Office speech that he did that put everybody in a bad mood. But Biden can't even put out a coherent thought from his head. But still, us as the American people, which newscasters or news reporters, ask him the questions that we're asking, but he never comes up with a coherent thought from his fucking brain. Now, I'm no college graduate at all, but logic and understanding goes a long way. And he can't even give us that. Anyway, now look, I want to say this real fast. Because I know, contrary to popular belief, black people aren't supposed to speak out against Democrats. It's the party that we belong to, right? Not me, all right? I'm not Democrat nor Republican. I'm not independent nor am I Green Party. Not even Tea Party. I'm neither. I'm free thinking Marcus. Okay? Now, I don't vote only for the simple fact is that our vote, the black vote, the Voters' Right Act, has to be deliberated damn near every 10 years. So why the fuck would myself see this shit go on? Now, they do grant us every time when they deliberate it that we're okay, we're free to go, we can go ahead and do it. But what happens if they all vote against it? What the fuck did our ancestors fight for? I've been said this countless times. Lobbying is where we should be doing this shit. Not in the voting booth. Lobbying. It makes more sense that way. How do you think the LGBT got all their rights? They lobbied. They didn't vote for anybody. They lobbied. So why isn't that we're not taking a trick out of a Fruit Loops book and not using it to our advantage? Does that not make any sense? It makes sense to me. Charlie, how about you? Does that make sense to you? I don't know what nationality you are, but if it makes sense to you, let me know. Anybody else, does this shit not make sense? Lobbying is what we should do. Create a super PAC to where we write down. Matter of fact, how about we do this? How about we contact Ice Cube and say, hey, we want you as one of the heads of this. Let's take your contract for Black America. Let's write in some more shit to it. Have all the African Americans rally behind this shit, put money on it, and then present this shit to Congress. Would it not work? I'm pretty sure it will work. Now, to all my friends and family that are watching too, if you feel as though that what I just said isn't what you believe in, you can click off now. I don't need you here. And if you want to end our friendship, then I should have never met you in the first place. And to all my family members who feel that they want to disown me behind this, your mother should have never met your father. There's nothing more I can really say after that. So, if you feel some type of way about what I'm saying, about what black people should be doing instead of going to the voting booth, you can click off now. I don't need you here. Thank you. Thank you for being here if you click off. So, I'm moving on. So, Bruno Lonzo, mayor of Del Rio, has called on the administration to act quickly to solve this crisis. This is just something that needs to be brought to light. That we need quick attention from the administration, he said. We need quick attention to this. We need a response in real time. Federal government retaliates by banning drones from flying over the area. in retaliation for reporting the truth regarding the crisis in the country's southern border. Should be southwestern border, but whatever. The Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, on Thursday banned Fox from flying drones over the bridge in Del Rio for 2 weeks. We've been using our drones to show everybody the remarkable pictures, and said Fox News reporter Bill Malugin. But we just learned that the FAA has put out a temporary flight restriction, a TFA or TFR, sorry, in the area immediately around the port of entry where the bridge is. Earlier this week, all of a sudden, we start showing these images at this bridge, and the TFR goes up. We can no longer fly. Just not Fox News drones. That means everybody's drones. If you have a personal drone of your own, and let's say you're a YouTuber like myself, and you want to fly your drone over that bridge, it will get shot down. So find out another way to try to get up in there. Because who knows what the fuck they're doing to these people now that drone footage can't be then shown to the public. Also, FAA claimed the restriction on flying was requested by Border Patrol, and that it was granted due to special security reasons. Yeah, special, okay. Special my ass. Meaning, what do they mean by special? Like, they don't want us to see the brutal shit that they're doing to the people? Them not feeding the people because it's going to cost $1 million a week? Makes no sense whatsoever. It makes entirely no fucking sense. So, they must don't want drones to be flown over because they must don't want us to see the shit of, which I heard that there's no bathrooms there for them. There's really no comfortable place for them to sleep because it is under a bridge and it's a concrete slab where they're at. Let me show y'all this real fast. I wasn't supposed to show this until later, but I'll show this now. That's the scene right there. They're on a concrete slab under a bridge with barely nothing to protect them. If it rains in Del Rio, they'll all get wet. There's no tents, no nothing. So I don't understand, man. You'll see later what I have to say about all this bullshit that's happening. So, the Border Patrol requested a temporary flight restriction due to drones interfering with law enforcement flights on the border, said the FAA in a statement. As with any temporary flight restriction, media is able to call the FAA to make requests to operate in the area. Malugin pointed out that that Fox News had already been operating at the border for the better part of 7 months now. We're using the drone the entire time. It's never been an issue, said Malugin. Earlier this week, all of a sudden, we start showing these images at the bridge, and the TFR goes up. We can no longer fly. So don't worry, Malugin. You don't even have to use your imagination of what you may be thinking of what's happening and what you can show now on the news. So you don't have to use your imagination. Just know whatever you're thinking is happening is probably happening. So Senator Schumer and other top Democrats urged Biden to stop expulsion of Haitian refugees. Now, I hear that word a lot when it comes to Haitians. They always call them refugees. Why the fuck do they always call them refugees? While everybody else are migrants or immigrants. They've been calling them migrants as well. But why the fuck do they call them these names? They're seeking asylum. That's what the fuck they're seeking. Excuse me. So Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and other top Democrats have condemned President Joe Biden for deporting thousands of Haitian migrants. See what I'm saying? Gathered at the border after the UN warned the move could run afoul of international law. Democrats, listen to me well. Joe don't know the fucking law. I don't know if y'all knew this. This motherfucker even forgets his wife's name half the time. He be calling his wife Morgana, and she be like, "Oh, Jill, Joe, stop. My name is Jill, silly." The motherfucker cannot give us a. Have y'all heard the unedited version? I believe, but watch his last speech, please. After this video, please look up Joe Biden's last speech, which was the mandate speech. Look at that speech. This motherfucker is everywhere in his mind. Like, this this motherfucker's everywhere. I'm like, where the fuck is he at? Like, get in one place and sit in it. God damn it, shit. So, as Biden begins the mass expulsion of Haitian refugees, around 14,000 of whom have showed up under a bridge in the Texas border town of Del Rio in recent weeks, many fleeing natural disaster and political turmoil in their home country. Members of their own party have rejected the decision as cruel. Among them, the Senate's. Yeah, well, that's what I have written. That Senate's top Democrat. You know what? I would flee too from Haiti. You know why? Because our president got assassinated due to our corrupt prime minister. Also, we just suffered 2 hurricanes and an earthquake, which the earthquake left our infrastructure in bad shape. It basically pummeled the country. Well, the hurricane pummeled the country. Earthquake basically, which was done by Harp, basically fucked the rest of the country up. So, where would you think that they should go, these 14,000 people who want to seek asylum? Where do you want them to go? Hell, these motherfuckers chartered a goddamn boat probably to Mexico or South America in order to get up here. You wouldn't seek asylum from two hurricanes, an earthquake, and an assassination. To where as anything goes right now in Haiti. There's no president to inflict said laws. Pretty sure the police out there aren't really doing too much. So what do you think that they should do? I don't know. This motherfucker here, man. This motherfucker here, man. Biden is a piece of work. That's all I gotta say. Now, what video am I not showing right now?
Texas
Question on Haiti. There are photographs and reports.
Texas.
African.
I don't want y'all seeing this. Makes me look unprofessional. So, what is this video? So, matter of fact, I did have the right video. Sorry.
To this migrant site.
All right. So what we're about to look here, see here. No, I don't know if this is the right one either. Mass deportation. I know what I did. I took the video out. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. Took the video out. So we'll continue. We won't do the video yet. So, the horrible treatment of these innocent Haitian people who have came to the border fleeing violence and natural disaster must stop immediately, Schumer said in a tweet, adding that Biden must stop the expulsion and end this Title 42 policy at our southern border. So, but wait a minute. I think I still do have this video. Yes, I do have it. I just had it in the wrong place. So boom, here we go.
The Department of Homeland Security is ramping up efforts to deport migrants that have gathered along the southern border. More than 12,000 people, mostly from Haiti, are currently camped beneath a bridge near the small town of Del Rio, Texas. But some of the methods for removing the asylum seekers are raising concerns after new video emerged showing Border Patrol agents on horseback rounding up those migrants. Manuel Bajorquez joins us now from Del Rio with the latest. Good morning, Manny.
Morning. Deportations are being sped up with 1 to 3 flights a day departing from the U.S. to Haiti, and an additional 600 federal agents have been sent to this section of the border to help. But as you mentioned, an incident involving Border Patrol on horseback has the Department of Homeland Security investigating.
It is tragic and it is heartbreaking.
After seeing the camp where thousands of mostly Haitian migrants are waiting near the U.S. border, Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas issued this stark warning.
If you come to the United States illegally, you will be returned.
And in one case, an agent on horseback can be seen grabbing the shirt of a migrant, appearing to whip him as he desperately tries to escape. No! But Mayorkas was also asked to respond to images like these. Border Patrol agents on horseback seen trying to keep migrants from crossing into the country. As one group tried to pass, an agent said this.
Hey, you use your women? This is why your country...
In a statement, a spokesperson for the department.
How do you add insult to injury to this? So they are basically trying to leave. They left our country to then come here so they can live a better life. That's all that they want. Because, as I said earlier, their president died and 3 natural disasters happened. So how is it that you then tell these people to go back to your shithole country, I believe is what he said? Oh, you talking about the same? I won't even get into that right now. So, let's continue the video.
Of Homeland Security called the footage extremely troubling and said DHS is investigating the matter.
Aquí a los Estados Unidos, how difficult was that journey?
Some of the migrants who do qualify for asylum have been allowed in, like Ralder Vassan.
And why did you leave? ¿Por qué saliste de Haití?
Porque mi país no tiene buena seguridad.
There's no security in Haiti.
Sí, por eso salimos y a buscar más vida.
Looking for a better life, una mejor vida.
Javier Martinez Jr. is a lifelong resident of Del Rio. He says citizens in his city fear possible shortages of medical care.
We are a population of 35,000 or more.
Hell, Sweat. Do you not make an appointment to go and see your doctor? Or if you got off your fat ass and did a sit-up or two, you won't have to worry about medical care all that much. Unless you really need it. Let's keep going.
Now we're accommodating over 10, 13,000 more. Our little HEBs, our little Walmarts are not, at capacity for that. So our shelves are being a little empty now.
Martinez says the closure of the international bridge connecting Del Rio, Texas to Ciudad Acuña, Mexico is having an economic impact because workers from Mexico who are allowed to cross daily into the U.S. to work here are not able to do so, and some businesses are finding it difficult to operate. Laura?
And Manny, what more can you tell us about what the Biden administration plans to do in order to raise the number of refugees who are allowed into the U.S.? Have they given us a number?
They have. The Biden administration is raising the cap, the yearly cap for refugees to 125,000. That is dramatically higher than it was at the end of the Trump administration, which was just 15,000. But the administration is stressing, as you've heard Secretary Mayorkas say, that this is for people who have been screened and vetted in other countries before they are allowed to come in, and not necessarily for people who show up at the border like many of these Haitians have.
Yes, as you mentioned in your report, Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, he has said that without the proper legal reason to be in the U.S., that these migrants will be removed under Title 42. So can you explain to us, how does someone become eligible for temporary protective status, and why aren't migrants able to seek asylum in this case?
So Title 42 is broadly being used, and it was in the Trump administration and now in the Biden administration, as a way to send people back due to the pandemic, due to COVID concerns. There do appear to be limited cases where people are allowed to claim asylum in the United States. We saw that at a faith-based organization that we visited here in Del Rio, Texas, where they said these are some people who have been able to prove that there is a specific or credible fear to their life if they are returned to their home country. But again, those are very limited cases, and the administration is trying to make sure that people don't see that as a lure to come into the country illegally.
What do you know right now about the United States' expulsion flights? Is the administration planning on ramping them up?
Yeah, so far what we've heard from the government is 1 to 3 flights a day, and we have seen those flights arriving in Haiti. There are many activists who are decrying that move, saying you're sending people back to a country that's just had a presidential assassination and another major earthquake. But those flights are happening, and so far, whether it's through flights or other means, the administration says that 6,000 Haitians have been removed or have left the camp. It's important to note that we're hearing from Mexico that many of the Haitians are also returning to Mexico because they're afraid of being caught here in the United States and then deported.
Well, Manny, thank you for your continued reporting from Del Rio, and we look forward to more of your reports this evening and in the coming days. Thank you.
All right. So, I know y'all saw that infamous picture that keeps being put up on the news, and I got it too myself. What the fuck? Why do they feel as though that this shit's okay? Well, I'm looking at it over here, so that's the reason why y'all saw that. But why do they feel like this is okay? To justify the deportations, Biden invoked a provision of U.S. federal law, Title 42 of the United States Code, that allows the government to expel entireties of in imports. Is it entireties? I meant entries. What the fuck? Let's read that over. That allows the government to expel entries and imports from designated places to prevent spread of communicable diseases. Hold up. You know what? I kept bringing up the Mexicans and South Americans crossing the border. But here's a group I did not bring up. And I'm glad I saw this shit. I want y'all to see my face real fast when I say this. Isn't the Afghanis coming over here? Not only is the Afghanis coming over here, you don't know if these fools have the cocoa or not. And with that, Slow Joe is allowing them to come over. Like 10,000 of them, I think it is. Now, not only that, Airbnb owners and operators are allowing these people free of charge to stay. Well, I'm pretty sure it's free of charge to them. I'm pretty sure the government's picking up the bill. But they're allowing these people to stay in their homes until they get on their feet. This shit is crazy. Look, check this out. The Haitians can't stay, but you're bringing a set of people over here because their country got taken over by a gang of dudes that even the United States couldn't even beat. Because the Taliban knew better. They knew, let's play chess. Let's play the long game. We was told, who said that? Those are leather horse reins. I didn't say whips. I didn't say anything about whips. Photo is out of context to promote a narrative of abuse. Hold on, I'm reading this, but not putting it up on the screen. Of abuse border patrol. Hold on, narrative of abusive border patrol agents. Why would they want to demonetize our border protection? Look, I have no fucking idea. And I don't understand this, Charlie. Why was that even necessary of having them on horseback? I don't know how many border patrol agents there are. But it's times like this where they should second guess how many border patrol agents that they should have on hand at once. Now, would have happened if the border patrol agents were on post? Because seems to me it was like 3 of them out there on horseback, and people were still getting through. Mind you, it's thousands of them, but only like 2 or 3 border patrol agents. People still getting through. Now, this is what I want to say about them spreading communicable diseases. I know somebody that frequents Haiti practically every quarter. This is what he does. He cuts hair for people in Haiti. Usually the kids, he says. Which is, I won't say who he is to me, but he says he goes to Haiti, speaks to the locals, and you know how they're trying to say that these Haitians are going to spread said disease. I'm gonna let you know. The dude that I know that frequents Haiti says that they've had, because they have televisions over there as well. They haven't had as many deaths, nor have they had. Hold on, let me go to my notes here. Although Haiti is smaller than most countries in the world, but that's neither here nor there. But they have lesser deaths per capita, and they have fewer people who catch said disease or virus. So how would people who don't have as many cases opposed to other countries going to spread something that they haven't even gotten yet? Explain that. Government, please, Biden, someone, explain this. Because I actually have someone who goes to Haiti practically every quarter to cut hair. But then he speaks to the locals and gets some knowledge other than what the news is actually saying over here in this country. Explain that away. That's all I want to know. Like Dave Chappelle said in his Sticks and Stones special, no, his Age of Spin special. We're in the age of spin. The news isn't here to inform us; it's here to sell us something. Like I don't know if my mother in her time when she was growing up, if news was the same. I want to know when news changed, because why should we know the opinion of Don Lemon? I don't care about Don Lemon's opinion, nor do I watch CNN. But why are we getting these news anchors' opinions on shit? No. You're supposed to be a reporter. You're supposed to report to us, not give us your opinion. You're supposed to report the facts of what you found or what your team found, and then display those facts to the public. That's what your job is. Everyone on CNN, I don't really know Fox News, but this is what Fox News does. Fox News has people with personalities that then give us the news and facts. Not this woke, whatever that word means, woke. These woke reporters that try to sell us something, and all in all, they get themselves in trouble at the end by the public. Because who really likes Don Lemon at all? Anyway. So, Title 42 explosions were used heavily under the Donald Trump administration, which cited the pandemic, or the panning, to bar entry to large numbers of migrants. At that time, I think it was was it Saudis that he did that to, or was it Afghanis? It was either or. Despite repeated vows to overturn Trump's immigration policies, Biden is now using the same mechanism to deport thousands of Haitians. Well, isn't that great? Trump had something against the Afghanis, and now Biden has something against said Haitians. let's continue. Because it wasn't just Schumer who said all of these words. Schumer echoed earlier criticism from Senator Cory Booker of the government's unconscionable treatment of the refugees, while Congress. Hold on, let me pull that up. Let me pull what I had it. Alright, fuck it. Let's keep going. Well, I'll do it live. So, yeah, but that wasn't only happening with the refugees, just those three people that was doing that. This was also happening. Which I think this is called what, a horse line to push the migrants back. And the tactic that they were using with their reins was basically to get the horse to move away from said side of where they're throwing the rein at, or they go to that side. I'm not too sure. I heard it explained, but then I forgot what the explanation was. But anyway, moving forward. While Congressman Adam Schiff, Democrat from California, and Julian Castro, who served as housing and urban development, which means gentrification, secretary under the Obama administration, also denounced the move. So, opposition from Democrats grew more vocal after images from U.S.-Mexico border crossing made the rounds online, showing Border Patrol agents on horseback, as you see right in front of you, forcefully rounding up what happened to be Haitian migrants. While the agents' reins were mistaken for whips by the critics, the tense visual nonetheless helped to galvanize criticism from within Biden's own party. Earlier on Tuesday, the top refugee official at the United Nations, and I'm not even going to try to say his first name, but Mr. Grandi said Biden's mass deportation campaign could run afoul of international law, barring forced return, urging Washington to lift the Title 42 restriction. The summary mass expulsion of individuals currently underway under the Title 42 without screening for protection needs is inconsistent with the international norms and may constitute refoulement, he said, referring to the concept under international humanitarian law that forbids states from returning asylum seekers to places they are likely to face dangerous and persecution. This is what I want to ask. Why is it that when which they don't even report this shit no more, they used to report it when I was in middle school. That was a long time ago, long time ago. Why is it that when they deport, well, when Haitians come to the United States, they always deport them back to their country. Why does that happen? Now, you have Cubans who come over. Remember, I'm showing my age right now. Does anybody remember Elian Gonzalez? The little boy who came over here on a raft from, I believe, Cuba, if not the Dominican Republic. It was either or. And he was all alone. Then, they started interviewing his dad and all this other craziness. They had him in Nikes and shit and all that type of shit, and they had him with a nice place to stay. But that's a little kid. There's several Cuban immigrants who come over who seek asylum. They're allowed to stay. Why is it that when Haitians come over, they immediately deport them? Oh, is it because in 1804 the Haitian slaves beat the brakes off of the French? Till this day, France has to have military, has to have some sort of military force opposite of them, or other than them, I should say, not opposite of them, but other than them to come and help them. Now, I'm not saying that the Haitians beating their ass is the problem, but was the problem, but it says a lot about them. That till this day, that they still have to get help. So, and they drove them off their part of the island, while in Dominica, the slaves over there were still tilling the land to grow sugar cane. So why didn't those black slaves, along with the Tainos and just the Tainos and the black slaves that were on the Dominica side, why didn't they revolt as well? Now, you gotta remember that was the Spaniards on Dominica. It was the French for Haitians, but they drove their asses the fuck out of there. To this day, for 200 years, Haiti has not been conquered by another country. America keeps trying, and they never succeed. So, is that the reason that y'all keep deporting them back? Is because y'all just don't like Haiti as a whole? Or is the reason that they keep sending them back, and let's be honest, the world has shut Haiti out of shit, such as importing, exporting, trade. The world shut them out of this. Haiti barely has anything. They're a poor country for a reason. Because they're not able to get into trade. These motherfuckers eat dirt cookies. And I'm not even bullshitting with that. They actually eat dirt cookies. Like, I'm not even fucking lying. You can look this up. Look up Haitian dirt cookies. You might get a recipe. But you'll also get an article stating of, anyway. I don't think white countries like when black people overcome adversity. I really don't think that white countries like that. That's just like last year when Black Lives Matter was around the world, and then we started seeing racist news reporters talk about how much of a terrorist group Black Lives Matter is. Now, I would say, not terrorists, but they did have some crooked motherfuckers inside that organization, and all of them left with a hefty payday. Last year, Black Lives Matter got $90 million. As far as I know, a lot of those people who ran Black Lives Matter, that is no longer a part of Black Lives Matter now, walked away with about $20 million. So, what is it about black countries does white ran countries not like? Because if you don't know, Australia, China, I want to say Russia maybe, is in Africa as we speak, buying up shit and taking shit. And let's not talk about colonization. I don't know what it is. But I'm just saying, maybe, and this is just me speculating, is it that America doesn't want these said black people to come over and then place in the black people's mind who do live here and have been here, ancestors have generations here, to not spark anything within us to revolt against the government like they did against their enslavement? Is that what America doesn't want? Because I can tell you now, look, how long do you think you can keep doing something to somebody until they fight back? How long do you think that can happen, America? And I'm asking a serious question. How long do you think that can happen? Because not only are you placing people on opposition with this pandemic mandates and all that other bullshit, all I have to say is just let's watch the aftermath with the people who don't feel like that's the best thing that they should do. Rant over. All right, let's keep going. Randy also cited deplorable conditions under the Del Rio Bridge, an all-concrete overpass located along a stretch of the U.S. Mexico border, where a massive number of migrants have gathered. Now I'll show that picture again that I showed earlier. This is where they're at. This is where they're at. And then they're deporting these people damn near every day. Where their living conditions can be far better here than back in their country. Then will they frequent Haiti? Maybe not, for the simple fact that during Coco last year, and I think a little bit of this year, they started, y'all probably don't even know this, they started deporting Haitian immigrants, and they were deporting Haitian American citizens back to Haiti. Y'all probably didn't know that. But you got somebody like me that pays attention to a lot of shit, you'll only hear it here. That's what happened. They started deporting Haitian immigrants who were already here, had their green card, and was working. Also, with their first generation of kids that lived here already and had livelihoods here, they deported them as well. I think there's a Vice episode about this. So I will ask y'all to go over to Vice when this is. Go to YouTube, type in Vice Haitian deportation or something like that, and then have fun. So, where was that? While federal authorities temporarily banned drone flights in the area last week after aerial footage shown the vast scale of the migrant encampment, state officials have since helped local news crews to circumvent the restrictions. Flying Fox report. Flying Fox reporters over the scene. Okay, so they flew Fox reporters over the scene. Okay, in their own helicopters to give them a better look. The Texas government has long been at loggerheads with the Biden administration over border policy, with Governor Greg Abbott moving to shut down several crossings into the U.S. late last week, while blaming Biden for sheer negligence in failing to secure the border. The deportation effort has so far been a messy one in both the U.S. and Haiti, with footage emerging from the airport in the Haitian capital on Tuesday, purporting to show newly returned refugees storming an airstrip, some seen throwing shoes at a plane. One day earlier, a group of Haitian migrants reportedly attempted to escape from the Border Patrol bus en route to a processing center in Brownsville, Texas, though all were soon recaptured. Texas can't seem to get a break. First they get ridiculed for their CRT, their critical race theory bill, which then garnered national ridicule. Then their abortion bill that then garnered national ridicule, and then last after that, this, which is garnering national attention. Man. Oh, and also their gun bill that they passed, the where Texans, which I don't even know why Texans been carrying guns on them, so, but it's more open now. Like, you can openly carry your gun like jewelry now. You can wear it like it's an accessory on you in Texas, which is a good thing, because then nobody comes up and starts shit with you. Because if they got their gun and you got your gun, then who else is gonna do anything to you? It's gonna be let's take 10 paces and shoot this out. But nonetheless, I'm too damn good, because I knew all of this shit. I knew all of this shit. But come on, let's be honest. Let's blame this shit on Texas. Let's blame this on Texas. Okay, so I got one last video on this topic. And sorry, Charlie. Your eyes are gonna have to hurt.
Follow-up question on Haiti. There are photographs and reports of border agents on horseback using what appear to be whips on Haitian migrants. Does the administration view that as an appropriate tactic? Can you speak to that? There are people who are upset about it.
Yeah, understandably so. I've seen some of the footage. I don't have the full context. I can't imagine what context would make that appropriate, but I don't have additional details. And certainly, I don't have additional context. April, I don't think anyone seeing that footage would think it was acceptable or appropriate.
The DHS said it will be, said Saturday that federal agencies will be partnering with the Haitian government to provide assistance to the returnees. Can you elaborate on what that assistance will entail exactly?
You mean to the people who are returning to Haiti? Yes, we've been in close contact with the government about when people return, what that looks like. Let me get you some more additional details about what that looks like when they get on the ground.
Oh,
Go ahead, Mish.
Thanks so much, Jen. I want to follow up on the question about Haitian and it's specifically these photos that are surfacing on Border Patrol agents seemingly using whips. I know you said that there's no context that it would be seen as inappropriate. So the question really is, why would this be happening under the Biden administration? Is this going to stop? What would I wonder sort of what are going to be the consequences if what we're seeing is what we're seeing?
I mean, Yamish, it's all good questions. We just saw this footage. It's horrible to watch. I just have to get more information on it. Again, April, I don't have more information on it. I've also seen the video. I can't imagine what the scenario is where that would be appropriate. I'm certainly not suggesting that, but we've just seen the footage earlier this morning.
Also asked, I was talking to Haitian American advocates this weekend. They say that deporting people back to Haiti is like dropping people into a burning house. This idea that the country is just not in a place where it can handle this. Haitian officials have said, can you please have a pause on this? Is there any sort of discussion being made to make exemptions for some of these migrants? If so, who would those people be? Or are all of these people just going to end up dropped back in Haiti?
Well, first, I would say, I mean, we are constantly assessing circumstances on the ground. Obviously, the Secretary of State and the Secretary of Homeland Security are the ones who would assess circumstances like TPS status, which would be one that we granted and adjusted over the course of the last several months to account for circumstances on the ground in Haiti. Can't make any predictions of that, but I would just reiterate that obviously, our objective here is to not just work to address the circumstances, which are very difficult in Del Rio, but also to continue to work with the officials in Haiti to improve the conditions, to provide assistance. We're doing all of these pieces at the same time. It is not just one at the same time, but I can't predict for you what an assessment would look like or what the outcome of that assessment would look like.
Because y'all haven't had a meeting about it, that's why. That's why you don't know what it looks like. And if y'all do know what it looks like, it's none of our business. That's all. And if they do come up with some sort of solution, we still won't know. Because they won't tell us shit. All we'll know is that they deported 14,000 Haitian immigrants back to Haiti. That's all we'll know.
On the photo, I know you said that you're still assessing it, but just to add, if this is what we see, is it the president's stance or the White House's stance that whoever these border agents are using what seems to be whips on migrants that they would be fired or at least never be able to do that again?
Of course, they should never be able to do it again. I don't know what the circumstances would be. It's obviously horrific, the footage. I don't have any more information on it, so let me venture to do that, and we'll see if there's more to convey. Karen, go ahead.
They hiding something. That's all that they're doing.
I think, April, I absolutely understand your question. I think I've been very clear about how horrific the footage is. I don't have more information. As a U.S. official, I have a responsibility to get more context and information. Go ahead.
All right. So, what have we learned about this situation, people? That America doesn't give a fuck about Haitian immigrants. And whatever the optics look like, whatever it looks like on the surface when it comes to this isn't normally what it is. So we won't know any more about this other than what has been already shown. And what we will probably know at the end is that they all was deported. That's all we'll know. All right, moving on. Body found in Wyoming is missing van life blogger. So let me bring this up. So, FBI missing persons report. Let me turn my headphones down. Missing persons report. Gabrielle Gabby Petito, a 22-year-old resident of Northport, Florida, was traveling with her boyfriend in and around Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming in late August 2021. She was reported missing on September 11th, 2021. Gabby is 5'5" and 110 pounds. She has long blonde hair, blue eyes, and visible tattoos on her hand and forearm. She was traveling in a white van in a 2021 Ford Transit van, registered in her name with Florida license plate QFTG03, and decorated with a variety of stickers on the rear. White women go missing every day, motherfucker, so it's a needle in the haystack. But anyway, let me bring myself back up here. So this is what I got for y'all until we come back.
Tonight, the search at the swamp continues. A massive manhunt for Brian Laundrie, now a person of interest in the homicide investigation of his fiancée, Gabby Petito.
We are trying to cover every acre in this preserve.
All 25,000 of them. The vast area now a grid search by all-terrain vehicles, canines, and dive teams. So far, no sign of Laundrie, who headed there more than a week ago with a backpack, according to his parents.
You can't keep chocolate in Utah.
Petito and Laundrie had been documenting their cross-country trip since early August. Laundrie returned to Florida without Petito September 1st. Her family reporting her missing 10 days later.
What's going on your side?
Newly released police reports shedding more light on the couple's dispute while on the road.
We drove by and the gentleman was slapping the girl.
A witness statement from a second person who saw the altercation, telling police something seemed off. Officers stopped and questioned the couple, but no charges were filed. Karen Aberts lives across the street from the Laundrie's Florida home and recalls watching the couple as they outfitted their van for the trip.
It seemed like, your normal young couple just kind of hanging out.
Aberts says Laundrie would routinely go on walks with his parents, sometimes with Gabby too, who previously lived with them.
Are you surprised that they didn't contact authorities sooner about Brian being missing?
I can't imagine my kid saying that I'm going for a hike, and then 2 days later, he's still not home. So to me, I would have been on the phone within hours after him not coming home.
Tonight, with Laundrie still missing, Petito's family no closer to the answers they so desperately seek.
Katie, do authorities feel like they're getting any closer to finding Mr. Laundrie?
Well, Lester, investigators have had several potential leads come up short, and now the FBI is asking the public to give them any information they may have about his whereabouts. Search teams here today haven't come up with anything yet, but they say they'll be back tomorrow to do it all again.
All right. So with this, a lot of newscasters has been making this claim about Gabby's current state, or past state, I should say, which they've been bringing up. Missing white woman syndrome. What is missing white woman syndrome, you may be asking? Well, missing white woman syndrome is a term used by social scientists and media commentators to refer to the observed disproportionate media coverage, especially in television, of missing person cases involving young white upper middle class women or girls, compared to the relative lack of attention towards missing women who are not white, women of lower social classes, and missing men or boys. Although the term was coined in the context of missing persons cases, it is sometimes used of coverage of other violent crimes. The phenomenon has been highlighted in the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and South Africa. So, y'all just learned something about missing white woman syndrome. The FBI has confirmed that a body found inside a Wyoming National Park on Sunday belongs to the missing van life blogger Gabby Petito. So a coroner made an initial finding that her death was a homicide, but gave no indication as to how she died. Miss Petito, 22, was visiting Grand Teton National Park with her fiance, Brian Landry, 23. Police are currently searching for Mr. Landry, whose whereabouts are unknown. He is considered a person of interest in the case, but has not been charged with any crime. And y'all saw him, and here he is again with Gabby. Now I got one thing to ask, and y'all probably ain't gonna like me after I say this shit, but listen. And I'm joking by all means when I say this, but I am being serious. Why can't white men kill their wives or girlfriends without a trace? Like, why is that every damn time? Every damn time a white man kills, their white spouse that the story is that she went missing, and then not only is she missing, is that her last whereabouts was only something that the husband or boyfriend can tell. Why is that always the case? That shit is crazy. Now, do y'all have some sort of handbook that y'all read as soon as y'all turn 18? And I'm talking to white men right now. Do y'all have some sort of handbook or something that y'all read when y'all turn 18 of how to kill a white bitch? Because if so, black dudes, I think we need that book. Because every time when we kill somebody, they find us. They know exactly who did it. But for some reason, white men can send cops on a wild goose chase, and the shit be funny sometimes. They can send them on a wild goose chase, and then it wounds up being the husband or the boyfriend. Like, does anybody remember Beretta? Beretta did that shit. And the motherfucker didn't cry. Now, the late comedian Patrice O'Neal, he had a joke where he said, you can tell by how they act, by how white men act, if they killed their wife or not. He said if they're crying and doing all this sob shit and saying we need to find my wife, he said, well, those motherfuckers that did it. The ones that act surprised and don't know what the fuck a newscaster's talking about, those are the motherfuckers who didn't do it. Because they have no fucking clue. All they remember is that him and their wife had an argument. She left. Some way she came up missing. And he has no idea what happened. It's the motherfuckers who's crying that did the shit. Now, also, does anybody remember this dude's name real fast? Warren Vandersloot? If that name doesn't ring a bell, Warren Vandersloot killed a young woman, I think she was 21 at the time, maybe 18, by the name of Natalie Holloway. And he got away with this shit for years. He then killed another woman in what's the country in Chile, I think this Chilean woman came to the same island where he lived, which I think is the Virgin Islands where he lived. He killed this woman as well. So then is some person who sought out where he was and just started talking to him. So then the subject of Natalie Holloway came up, and this motherfucker started spilling his guts. He told how he did it, how they wouldn't find her, and all kinds of shit. If he would have never opened his mouth and said shit, he would have been scot-free. But he had to run his mouth for the simple fact that he thought he was so damn good at killing that nobody would ever find out he killed Natalie Holloway. And then he got caught by running his mouth. So, all I'm saying is that when white men run their mouths, they did that shit. And when they cry, they did that shit. Alright, so let's move along. No details from the post-mortem have been released. Teton County Coroner Dr. Brett Blue confirmed that the remains are those of Gabrielle Venora Petito. Coroner Blue's initial determination for the matter of death is homicide. The FBI's Denver office tweeted. The couple had been traveling for several weeks before Mr. Landry returned home to Florida alone with their white van on September 1st. He did not contact police or the Petito family on his return. Hey, check this out. May this comedian rest in peace as well. The great Paul Mooney. He also had a joke where he was like, lions, tigers, and bears, oh my. He was like, lions, tigers, bears, oh my. And then he's like, he said a white couple walks into a forest, and they're walking, and then the woman says, I'm scared. The white man then replies back to her and says, you scared? I'm scared. I gotta walk back by myself. May Paul Mooney rest in peace for that. That motherfucker was funny as hell. Alright, so Miss Petito's family reported her missing 10 days later. Several weeks earlier, police in the Utah town of Moab were called to a possible domestic violence incident. Body cam footage, let me cue that up for y'all. Body cam footage showed Miss Petito crying and complaining about her mental health. A police report later said Mr. Landry claimed Miss Petito had struck him during an argument. And here's the video to show it.
What's your guys' names?
Gabby.
Brian. Gabby, Brian? Okay. What's going on? How come you're crying?
I'm just crying. We've just been fighting this morning. Some personal issues. I don't know. It's just, some days I have really bad OCD. And okay. I was just cleaning when he's painting us back that we had before, and I was apologizing to him and saying, I'm sorry that I'm so mean, because sometimes I have OCD and sometimes I can get really frustrated. Not like mean towards him. I just I guess my vibe is like
I'm sorry, and blessings to the dead, but that's a bullshit ass explanation. You do not get irritated when you're OCD. I'm partially OCD, and yes, I like things in certain ways, but I won't get frustrated and argue with somebody about certain things being in certain places. I'll just re-straighten it back up the way that I had. That's all. I'm not saying that what she's saying isn't true, but all I'm saying is that I don't think OCD works like that. But I do have the DSM-5, like I showed last week. I could look it up, but whatever.
I'm like in a bad mood, and I'm trying to start a blog. A couple months. So I've been building my website. So I've been really stressed. And I like believe that I can do any of it. Just kind of been like, I don't know. He's like down there. I don't know. We've just been fighting all morning.
You tend to have a lot of anxiety and stress.
A lot of anxiety.
And what's his name? Is it Brian?
I'll read this aloud real fast. According to the responding officer, neither wanted to file charges and agreed to spend the night separately.
Is he usually pretty patient with you?
Yeah.
Petito disappeared during the trip.
But I know that he definitely gets pushed.
Alright, so since they spent the night separately, but they haven't questioned these cops. Not saying the cops have anything to do with it. Just saying, have they yet questioned these cops about her whereabouts when they took her? Now, Brian could have got frustrated and said, fuck it, I'm going home. And then left her. Or he probably camped out somewhere, wherever she was, probably a few miles away, spent the night separately together. He got her from wherever she was at, mostly the police station possibly, but they had money, so she probably had a hotel room. Just as well as he probably got one, got a hotel room. And they spent the night apart. But there's no clear indicator of when she disappeared, though. And he is running, so he does know something.
And then my feet are dirty and everything. So I think our little squabble started because you're hanging out at the coffee shop. And when I got back to the return from the van, we weren't physical before the point where I said, all right, let's just take a breather and like walk away for a minute. I'll lock the van up and I'll go for a walk this way and you can go walk that way on the block.
So you pushed her and she hit you?
She was, it wasn't like a push and she jumped on me.
He's lying. He knows exactly what's happening. It's two police officers. They're asking him questions about his story. If you guys go to my domestic violence video that I did, it's way back there. It's from I think a year ago. But I want y'all to pay attention to the chart that I bring up on screen. This is when I was doing only voiceovers on my podcast. But pay attention to the chart. It's like a circle chart, a circle pie chart. I think it has like 9 sections in it. In those sections, I give you an explanation of what each one of those mean. Now, what he's doing right now is he's deflecting what actually happened. How do I know this? I've been in this situation. Cop showed up at the door, said, hey, we heard that there was a disturbance. Something was going on in here. Can you explain? I told them as much as possible so I wouldn't get in trouble. I didn't tell him exactly what happened. Because he doesn't want to go to jail, neither did I. So she wouldn't be crying out of nowhere in for a bullshit ass reason. The whole I have bad OCD. That's not a good example. And that's not a good excuse of why you're crying. You're crying for an actual reason of something of what happened between you two. She said no, the call was that the guy slapped a woman. That's what the caller said. I just saw a male slap a woman. Then she says, I'm upset, I got OCD, all this shit. And then he's trying to, and I'm gonna backtrack this a little bit. He says, I didn't push her and I didn't hit her, but he actually did hit her. He got frustrated. He got so frustrated for the simple fact he's been on this trip with this person, and they probably don't even spend that much time together like they were then. They probably wasn't spending that much time with each other like that. So he got frustrated. He probably did something that he never did before, like I did. Never hit a woman a day in my life until that day. And he possibly got so frustrated that I'll let you use your imagination. Let's keep going.
You pushed her and she hit you. She was. It wasn't like a push and she jumped on me. She was already. I don't want to. She was already swinging, and I was. Yeah. A lot of angles, a lot of nails, a lot of things.
Yeah, you got 3 scratches in your neck. You got one on your left side of your neck. You got one in your face here, and you got 4 that are bleeding over there. Just try to.
Now check this out. Cop was bringing up scratches and shit on his face. I had scratches as well. Does that mean she did more of the damage than what he did? No. Told y'all last week in the story, men have 8 times more strength than what women do. So it's really nothing she could have did on her side compared to what he might have done to her. In no way. So let's continue.
You're going to be taking the van tonight, and you're going to go somewhere else. I am going to get him lined up for the hotel room tonight. I want you guys to stay away from each other. For both of you guys the same. From what you told me and what he told me, you guys have a bunch of little things that are building up, and finally the little string that you guys were.
You know what that's from? Because they don't spend as much time with each other like that. Now, the news reporter did say that Gabby was staying with Brian and his family for a little while. Now, do you know why she probably moved out? Because they were arguing a lot. They didn't know how to deal with this newfound freedom that they had by being with each other now, by sleeping in the same bed with each other, by seeing each other every day and they're 22 and 23, so, and they're high school sweethearts. So we're talking 4 years. From graduation up until, 5 years really. 4 years. I'm talking 4 years from them seeing each other, probably almost every day and every weekend, to then seeing each other every day. You start nitpicking that shit between each other. I don't like this about you. I don't like this about you. I don't like when you chill. I don't like how you walk. Like, look, these little bullshit things that they start noticing that they didn't notice at first, that they're now noticing about each other. Which really isn't something to really fight over, for the simple fact that it only comes up really in arguments too. So they probably argued. He probably said something that was out the way that he thought that he didn't like about her, and she said the same thing, or something, along the lines of the same thing. So it's really a bunch of bull of how they're explaining this. Now, it's a good thing that the cop said, yes, I'm gonna separate y'all for the night, get y'all away from each other so y'all can cool down. Cooler heads prevail. But what the cops should do with both of them is not interrogate them, but peel the layers back of their relationship. Ask him how they met, how long they been together, has this ever happened before? Uh, is he always like this? Are you always like this? Like, start peeling the layers back and start asking questions. I just answered. And start asking questions, because like I said, there's really no good explanation of why she was crying and why he possibly is possibly holding the truth back as well as her, so they both don't get in trouble. Because, i.e., they're not from the state that they're getting questioned in, and they're thousands of miles away from home. So let's keep going.
Kite walking off the way. Does that sound about right?
Alright. Okay, so let me sit back up. Sitting here slouching. So, no charges were filed with the officers recommending that the couple spend the night apart. What happened next is unclear. Thing is, it's not. They separated, and then there's no indicator of their whereabouts after that. Like, the cops didn't then escort both of them to come together with each other and then talk to them again, like, hey, like, I know certain things are frustrating and certain things, they're going to get on your nerves with each other, but try to, reason with each other and stuff like that. But none of that. Why is that even on here? Hold on, y'all. Alright, so let's keep going. Mr. Landry's family reported him missing over the weekend. They claim he left for a hike on September 14th and never returned. He had refused to speak with investigators before disappearing. That nigga knows something. The search for Mr. Landry has focused on 24,000 acre nature reserve near his home in Northport, Florida. Police are using dogs, drones, and all-terrain vehicles for the search, which officers say is complicated by difficult swampy terrain. Additionally, police are investigating hundreds of reported sightings of Mr. Landry, included more than a dozen from Alabama, which borders Florida to the west. On Monday, investigators searched the Landry family home. Agents were then seen removing several boxes from the house and towing away a silver Ford Mustang. The case has captivated the public, with each new development becoming the focus of the web's sleuth of platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. As of Tuesday, the hashtag Gabby Petito has received more than 650 million views on TikTok alone, according to the Associated Press. What do we know about the boyfriend, Brian Landry? On Tuesday, a post-mortem examination confirmed the remains found in West Wyoming's Bridgeton Teton National Forest this weekend belonged to Miss Petito. In his preliminary findings, the coroner ruled her death a homicide. Hey, this is just a thought. Could Brian might have brought a gun with them? Now, I'm not saying he brought a gun for her. I'm saying he brought a gun for the simple fact that they were going somewhere. They was going all over the world, and they could have, just a thought, they could have gotten in some sort of trouble of some sort. So, for him, it could have been best to bring a gun to then handle said situations, just in case they got into some sort of trouble. So, could he have brought that on the trip for their protection, or just in case he got in trouble with Gabby? I mean, other people. Just a thought. The 22-year-old was visiting the Grand Teton National Park with Mr. Landry, 23, as part of the cross-country camper van road trip. But after a month of traveling, Mr. Landry returned home to Florida without Miss Petito. Police resumed the search for Mr. Landry this week. He is considered a person of interest in the case, but has not been charged with any crime. Here's what we know about the case so far. The two high school sweethearts documented their nomadic van life through national parks in the American West on Instagram and YouTube. The journey was originally intended to last 4 months, U.S. media report. By Mr. Landry reported home to Florida alone on September 1st, Miss Petito's family reported her missing 10 days later. Where's Brian? Mr. Landry, currently the only person of interest in this case, remains missing. Family reported his disappearance this past weekend, saying he had left for a hike on September 14th and never came back home. So, we're gonna do, and I don't have that. Damn, why did I? Okay, no, I got it. All right. So, all right, here we go.
More than a week since anybody last saw Brian Laundrie. For days and hours since then, federal and state and local law enforcement agencies are looking for basically a needle in a haystack, searching the nature preserve that's tens of thousands of acres for any sign of him. Investigators believe he may know what happened to Gabby Petito. Investigators just ruling her death a homicide in the last 24 hours. Fox 13's Evan Axelbank is live at the family home tonight in Northport. Evan, give us the very latest from the search this evening.
Well, police are not being specific as to what they are turning up, but they do say they'll be back at the reserve tomorrow morning. All the while, her family waits for justice, and the nation wonders, where is Brian Laundrie? Police video shows canines using their sense of smell for someone who hasn't been seen in a week.
They're motivated and they're hungry to find Brian Laundrie.
Their drones, buggies, and airboats pulled out after combing the Venice side of the reserve for a second day. Dive boats also joined them to no avail. They've also spent 2 days at the Northport side over the weekend. His parents told police he went there to hike a week ago, which they said Friday was the last time they saw him.
We are trying to cover every acre in this preserve. It's rough out there, it's hot, it's wet.
Neighbors of the Laundries said today that the family appeared to go on a camping trip in a new camper about a week after Brian got back to Florida in Gabby's van on September 1st. They now know that Gabby would soon be reported as missing and that Brian would be considered a person of interest.
Did you think there was anything unusual about that?
Well, to
After
me,
we knew they were missing, yeah.
As neighbors deal with the constant media presence, other Northport residents, even those who did not know either family, are contributing flowers to a memorial that is growing by the day at City Hall.
As a mother myself, I can't imagine.
It's very sickening. I want to say to the family, prayers go out to you guys.
Included in those prayers are hope that they will get justice. Police haven't used the word suspect in describing Laundrie, but they have also not said they're investigating anyone else in her death. Every day the search goes on is another day questions will persist about when justice might come for the young woman.
Hello, and good morning.
Who was trying to make a name for herself.
And that's all that we want, is we want answers. What happened to Gabby?
Northport police say they'll be back out at the reserve tomorrow morning to continue with a similar type of search operation for Brian Laundrie, along with funeral plans. We're also waiting for the results of the full autopsy. Guys, back to you.
All right, Evan Axelbank reporting from Northport tonight. Thank you, Evan.
All right. So, where's Homeboy at? That's a question. Where the hell did he go? Because you only run when you do something. Where the hell did he go? Like, he went for a hike. Parents didn't think it was out of the ordinary. Our son always likes to hike, so, you know, we didn't think nothing of it. We went camping a week later. Or a day later, or whatever. So, why is it that the parents aren't scratching their head, and I feel like the parents know some shit as well. But why is it that they have yet to speak up about where he could be? Because simply, it's a possibility that. Alright, I'm sorry. It's a possibility that Brian knows where she's at. Or not where she's at, or where she was before being found and what happened. Because somebody just doesn't disappear just out of the blue like that. Like, that's unheard of. So, on Wednesday, police and FBI were due to resume their search in the Colton Reserve, a 24,000-acre country park in Florida's Sarasota County, with police dogs and drones. An underwater dive team arrived at the reserve later that day to assist with the search. A weekend ground search and aerial search Monday of the 25-acre preserve has yet to yield any answers. Though we must press on, spokesman Josh Taylor told WTSP, a local affiliate of CBS News. Please be aware the Carlton Reserve is a vast and unforgiving location at times. On Monday, federal agents conduct a nearly 8-hour search of his parents' home in Northport, Florida, where Mr. Landry and Miss Petito had moved in 2019. Before he vanished, Mr. Landry had eluded authorities and did not share any information with police. Mr. Landry's lawyer, Steve Bertolino, Steve Bertolino had originally scheduled a news conference on Tuesday, but he later canceled it after speaking to the FBI. He was quoted by local media as saying it was not in his client's best interest to go ahead with the event. Following the news of Miss Petito's death, Mr. Bertolino issued the short statement, "May Gabby rest in peace." Now, that's fucking cold-blooded. How the fuck you gonna say that? Come on now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was heartfelt, like, man, she rest in peace. But come on, dog. You ain't have to say all that. So, I'm getting rid of some stuff right now. Sorry. There's some things I got to get rid of. 1 second. Alright. So, let's get back to it. Alright. So, what happened is the question. It is still unclear what happened when Miss Petito and later Mr. Landry went missing, but some details have emerged from this week's prior. On August 12th, police in the southern Utah town of Moab were called to a possible domestic violence incident involving the couple. Body cam footage showed, which I showed the body cam footage, showed Miss Petito crying and complaining about her mental health to officers. She also said the couple had been arguing more frequently. It's because they haven't spent that much time with each other. A personal report on the incident said Mr. Landry claimed Miss Petito hit him after an argument. The officers recommended they spent the night apart but did not file any charges. It is not yet known what happened next. On August 19th, a video was posted to a YouTube channel registered with Miss Petito's email. The video showed the couple smiling, kissing, and running on the beach. It has been viewed more than 3.2 million times. Regular social media updates from the couple on Instagram abruptly ended in late August. Miss Petito's video called her. Miss Petito video called her mother on August 24th to say she was leaving Utah and heading to the Teton Mountain Range in Wyoming, according to Rick Stafford, the Petito's lawyer. Her mother, Nicole Schmidt, told CBS News that she and Miss Petito would usually speak 3 times a week during the road trip. On August 25th, Miss Petito posted for the last time on Instagram with a caption, "Happy Halloween." Her photo gallery did not include any location information. What did the text messages tell us? In search, a warrant application, authorities wrote that text messages sent by Miss Petito to her mother seemed to show mounting tension between the couple. According to the application, Miss Petito sent an odd text about her grandfather that sounded out of character concerning her mother. The last time Miss Petito's family heard from her was a text message on August 30th that read, "No service in Yosemite," a reference to the national park in California. Miss Schmidt has cast doubt over who sent this message. After a search that drew national public interest, officials discovered human remains now confirmed to be Miss Petito in a remote area of Wyoming's Grand Teton National Park in the Bridger Teton National Forest on September 19th. So that was just recently. Investigators have yet to disclose how and where the body was found. I have an idea. Landry pushed her. And I just took the pictures down. Damn, and I deleted them. But in the one picture you saw how if you scrub this back a little bit, you can see when I showed the picture of them both standing somewhere around some mountains. But anyway, until he's found, no one would know what the hell happened to her. So I guess we're waiting until then. So if anything else comes out about this, then I'll cover it. But with that being said, I know I made some jokes and everything about this sensitive matter, but I have no ill intent, and nor am I callous on what this family's going through. Just want to say I joke all the time with all my stories, so it's not this one particular story that I feel that I had to joke more with. It's just there's no explanation behind it. I wasn't joking to be an asshole. So with that being said, I want to close this out and get y'all out of here. So, everybody, Marcus Speaks play on Fridays at 6:30 p.m. as well as Marcus Speaks Live every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Alright, don't forget it. Don't forget to check me out. And be sure, y'all leave a comment and, talk to me and shit. I like to talk to people, so don't be shy. Hit me up. Alright? If you could, please like this video, share this video, share my channel as well. Subscribe and hit the bell for all of my notifications, okay? If you hit the bell, there's personal. I think the bottom is none, middle is personal, and the top is all. You want to hit that top all so you get all of my notifications, alright? I'm streaming live. Use restream.com to simultaneously cast to both Facebook and YouTube. But for the Facebook people that's watching, once this video ends, I completely take it down. But the YouTube link is in this place, so if you want to rewatch it, and you're not already subscribed, which you should, the link is in this place with the description as well of what this video is about. I have a second channel, so if anybody could, hold on, I have a second channel. The link is in the description below, and I also put the link in the live chat as well. So if you're on my group page or YouTube, you should be able to see it. All right, click on it, subscribe, and if you didn't subscribe here to my main channel, then that is right underneath as well, underneath the channel title. As well, if you go to my main channel, which is Marcus Speaks, which you're on right now, you'll see to subscribe to my second channel on my main channel. So either place you go, subscribe to both places, alright? If you have any sort of show idea or game recommendation or story recommendation for my podcast, please leave them either in the YouTube comments, Facebook comments, or in the live chat. Alright? Or you can hit me up in my DMs on social media. And my social medias are on Instagram at marcus.speaks.podcast, Facebook at Marcus Speaks, which is the personal page. My group page is Marcus Speaks Podcast. You can either find that when you search for either Marcus Speaks Podcast or Marcus Speaks PC, which is all one word. So Marcus Speaks PC, all one word. And I'm also on Twitter. I just got on Twitter. If you want to follow me on there as well, I I am there at Marcus Speaks 25. Right? So, once again, if you could, just asking for a friend. Please like this video, share this video, share the channel on your social medias, alright? Get me out there and help, alright? And if you're new, subscribe to not only this channel, but my secondary channel. Both of those, way to get to those is in the description below, alright? And when you hit the bell to all so you get all of my notifications, okay? So everybody, I'm out of here, alright? I'm gonna go and eat me a horse. So, if y'all came, I want to give y'all a round of applause for this game and watch. Alright? So also, with that, we're gonna end this. So, thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch y'all next week. Peace out.